one thing that I think is important to do in my classes in order to help with retention is to make sure that I'm being in touch with students as much as I can. And some people would think that would be a little bit invasive, but I collect their contact information on the first day, even though we have it online, just to make sure I have their cell phone number or whatever it is, some way that I can get in touch with them. And if I stop seeing a student, even maybe for one day, especially if it's in the beginning of the semester, I'll go ahead and call the student. I'll say something like, hey, we missed you in class today. Just wanted to check and make sure you're doing all right. And I know I've spoken to a lot of instructors that say that that's a little bit, invasive. It's a little bit much to maybe call someone at home, and it maybe takes away some of the responsibility from the student to make sure that they show up. But the way I'm thinking about it is that the biggest reason that students show up, at least from the information that I've read, is that they feel connected to the institution or they feel connected to a particular instructor. So if a student feels like I'm actually noticing when they're not there, I think that will go far in terms of, not necessarily having them feel like I'm checking up on them, but at least having them know that I've noticed whether they're in the classroom or not. And then, I'll see where the conversation goes from there when we talk. It could be that, the student doesn't want to show up, because they feel like they're failing the class, or it could be that the student isn't showing up because there's a lot of other stuff going on in their lives. But, I don't get to know that until I open up the door to that conversation. And I definitely have had many conversations with students who say they're not going to coming back for this reason or that, and then after a few minutes of talking, they change their mind and they show up. And I think that can be really powerful, just in terms of my connection with my students, my understanding of why they're not there, and their understanding of that I want them to be there.